What do you think is the coolest death in a TV show, movie, game? X-Men First Class, when Michael Fassbender kills Kevin Bacon by slowly moving a coin through Bacon's head while monologuing about how he agrees with Bacon's stance on everything, but he's gonna kill Bacon anyway because Bacon killed his family in the Holocaust. Tell Cersei. I want her to know it was me. John Marston going out in front of his barn. Jurassic Park, the attorney on the toilet getting chomped down by the T-Rex. Gus Fring's death scene was so cool. You thinkin' what I'm thinking, partner. Aim for the bushes. Had to be me. Somebody else might have gotten it wrong. Most epic would be probably Sean Bean, pick a character. Probably Ned Stark or Boromir. Most memorable was the Joker's disappearing pencil trick. Sam Jackson's death in Deep Blue Sea. Fantastic. The face melt from Raiders of the Lost Ark. For me, Drew Barrymore in the first Scream. Just great misdirection, opening with the biggest name in the cast then promptly dispatching them. Roy Batty in the original Blade Runner. When Gandalf fell fighting Durin's Bane. That whole first sequence from the Two Towers is one of the best things I have ever seen. Halo Reach, Noble Six. Dude went out fighting some of the best hit the Covenant could throw at him. In the novelization, or something to that effect, Six apparently fought the Covenant off for hours. Maybe even Dason, his OWN. The Covenant eventually deemed him as so much of a threat that they sent an entire army after him, including wraiths and air support, and Six kept going until he was ganged up on by a bunch of elites, a few of which he killed on his way out. He could go on for ages about how ucking badass Six was. Last scene of Blackadder goes forth. Major Kong riding the bomb in Dr. Strangelove, or comic book guy, best death ever. Terminator, dipping in a lava river, giving a thumb up at the end. Hodor's death on Got was the biggest mindfuck of a death I've ever seen. The word he's been mumbling over and over since childhood is directly related to his death while protecting the kid who caused the disability. Lucy Liu's character in Kill Bill. Firefly Season 1 Episode 2 The Train Job, Mal kicks Crow into the engine. The Viper in Game of Thrones. Oberyn's death was absolutely brutal. And stupid. Arrogant Rick. Legend of Korra. That one girl using metal bending to put a helmet on that lady that shoots explosions out of her head. That death shocked me. Russell Cass. Independence Day. Hello boys, I'm Bach. What is the smallest crime you can commit? Loitering. It's a crime for literally doing nothing. Have you ever picked up a bird feather you found and kept it? You're a criminal. The Migratory Bird Treaty Act prohibits almost all feather keeping. Walking around London holding a salmon in violation of Section 32 of the Salmon Act 1986, which is headed, Handling Salmon in Suspicious Circumstances. Blasphemy is technically illegal here in Ireland. Edit. I have been informed that it was removed from Irish law in 2018. Owning more than 6 dildos in the state of Texas. Eat a singular grape in the shop without paying for it. See that ship over there? They're rebroadcasting Major League Baseball with implied oral consent, not express written consent. Or so the legend goes. I forget the state, but there's one where it's illegal to have an ice cream cone in your back pocket, but only on a Sunday. 71 in a 70 zone. What is just not the flex that people think it is? Never taking your PTO. The I never take a day off types who live at work. How bad does your home life have to be? I'm my own boss, MLM participant. Do you know who my dad, mom, or parents are? No. No one cares. Driving around in a super loud vehicle such as ALOW riding Cyan with glassbacks. If you own one of these, you look like an SS hole and everyone hates you. My coworkers flexing their $900 car payments for new cars they didn't need to buy with high interest rates. Proclaiming you're an alpha male. In fact, it makes you look like a complete idiot and everyone hates you. Bruh, I'm such an alcoholic I can drink X amount of alcohol. Riding around in a limousine. I think it was David Spade who made the joke about it, saying, roughly, whenever I see someone riding in a limo, I think, wow, you have $300. Edit. You, Garfield, January 23, 23 below actually found the clip. It was $80. These idiots that ride motorcycles, ATVs super fast and recklessly down city streets doing wheelies and swerving in and out of traffic. When adults brag about high school sports achievements like that's their whole personality. Working 60+ hours a week and grind mentality. Don't get me wrong, I like OT. Especially because all of my OT is double time and I like making the big bucks from time to time, but Trying to flex that you work 60+ hours per week and saying that anything less than 60 hours is part-time is just plain stupid. You are working your life away, spending more time away from your family. And it shows just how underpaid you really are. Teachers bragging how some high percentage of the class fails every year. CrossFit. As a nurse that has worked in orthopedic surgery, a lot of our surgical procedures are repairing injuries from CrossFit. Being proud about being brutally honest when they're just rude. How little you slept last night. Men of Reddit, what's a better phrase to use instead of I'm umming? You're going to make me Solid positive feedback for your partner. Sorry. Yahtzee. A under your breath, UCK, is just stellar. Ready or not, here I am. I'm about to blow. Unexpected item in bagging area. I always keep it romantic. A quick ramp-up OF activity until I clench my teeth and scream at peak volume, take my seed you buxom wench. Then slither them to the sheets before leaping away, cutlass in my teeth. Fire in the hole. Almost. 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 There we are. The juice is loose. Redditors who had a porn addiction, how did you quit it? I watched it all. There is simply no more left. Every single time I was orny, I FaceTimed my grandma. I'm not a DICTRD, I can quit any tomb, sorry for depots, only have one hand free. I found someone who I fell in love with. We weren't even together yet when I stopped, but I was so sure something would start with us. I didn't want to carry that into our relationship. With her now, and I'm as happy as can be. I got married. Wife wants X all the time, I don't have any left for orn. Still in the trenches. I just beat it. Limit where you have access to orn and force yourself to control that. Delete old saved nudes, orn vids if you have any. Uninstall apps that might trigger you into instantly looking at porn, such as TikTok, Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, etc. My personal biggest thing were minimizing the triggers and being very conscious of when I was gravitating towards orn when I was only viewing it out of boredom or to boost my mood. What's the highest crime one can commit on this earth? Anything illegal on the top of Mount Everest. Genocide. You mean like from a morality perspective or bylaw? The latter depends on where you live, and the former depends on your beliefs. Personally, anything against children is number one up for me. Rape, kidnapping, etc. Probably blowing up the whole planet, or at least poisoning, irradiating it to the ruin of all living things. It's hard to imagine anything that a reasonable global civilization would want to discourage more. What are your thoughts on Trump's sexual abuse verdict? Is anyone surprised that it happened? The abuse, no. The verdict, a little. I didn't even realize he was on trial for that. I thought he was on trial for hiding documents or something. To be honest, I'm just sick of seeing that guy, and now he's all over the news, again. It's frustrating. His base will consider it a political attack with no basis, fake news. He won't pay because he doesn't pay his debts. It's not a secret that he's a sexual predator and abuser. He will never actually be held accountable for the monstrous life he's led. If I remember correctly, Trump derided her as elderly when claiming she wasn't his type. Dude is 76. He's elderly, too. His current wife is 53. Older than Carol was when he allegedly, I guess we don't have to say that now, when he assaulted her. Will she get the money? Probably not. His lawyers will keep it tied up in appeals for the rest of both of their lives. But it is a small amount of vindication, and I'm sure the dozens of women who have been assaulted by him are able to glean some measure of satisfaction from that. You marry someone who can best be described by your Reddit username. How are you? Our relationship will evolve over time. Very. I do not want to marry one of you uckers. No issues. Basically my wife in a nutshell. I think I'd be pretty good. Two dumb loners getting together can be a wonderful thing. Opens the freezer. Oh. I think my testicles are ucked. I'm not having a good time. He'd probably take me camping a lot. So that'd be cool. How the looty hell do you flirt with men? Be honest and direct, unless you want to see another. This girl was flirting with me and I had no idea. Post on Reddit in about 10 years. Stop being subtle. Be direct. I usually make him some food and show him my oops. Just start to talk. About anything. We often like to talk to women. Just talk. And be blunt. Captain Obvious. We generally suck at picking up subtle hints. My ex has on multiple occasions told me, Didn't you notice she was hitting on you? I've never noticed even once. You walk up to us and say, very clearly, hello, I'm attracted to you. Here's my number. Please pursue me romantically.